Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today, like I do at the start of every month, I will be showing you guys what I read last month, which was September, because now it's October. I read 5 books in September, 4 of those being English books, and 1 of those being a Dutch book. Out of the English books, there was 1 romance, 2 whatever thing Percy Jackson is in, and 1 children's fantasy book. And then a Dutch book I read was kind of fiction. These are the 5 books I read. Een bijna eindeloze afstand, which is the Dutch book. I think it's in English An Endless Expanse of Sea by Tahira Mafi. Close Protection by Eden Victoria. The Lightning Thief and The Sea of Monsters, both by Rick Riordan, and then The Book of Lost Souls by Michelle Muto. The first book I finished was An Almost Endless Expanse of Sea. I hope that's the title. It was fine. It wasn't my favorite because I don't enjoy reading Dutch books, first off, and I'm not sure if I enjoy this genre. I really like romance and fantasy more. I do recommend the book if you are into general fiction. I hope that's what it is. I really am not good at tropes, and they are. Or genres. I think genres. But it's about, I also forgot a lot. It's about Shirin, who is American, who was born in America and has been in America her whole entire life, and therefore speaks perfectly English, whatever. And basically it shows the reader kind of what life is as a person with non-American parents, even though you're American. So I do recommend it. I do definitely recommend it if you enjoy these kinds of things. It wasn't for me personally, mostly because of the language, but I do recommend it. The second book I finished this month was Close Protection by Eden Victoria, which this is really more my style. It's basically it's a romance book about Daphne and Milosh. At the end there were so many plot twists. It was actually insane. It's also gorgeous. Look at the spine. Basically something happens and Daphne Green has to have protection because, and her father gets her a bodyguard, Milosh, and then, as what happens, romance blossoms. Kind of reminded me, now that I think of it, of Twisted Games. A lot, actually. So if you enjoy Twisted Games, read Close Protection. If you read Close Protection, read Twisted Games. So yeah, it's an amazing book. And it's gorgeous. The third book I read this month was The Lightning Thief, Percy Jackson and the Olympians, Lightning Thief, whatever, book 1, by Rick Riordan, which I have been wanting to read. Okay, I am not in middle school anymore, and most people read these books in middle school, but I didn't know of these books' existence until like last year. So, and then in June, I bought the book, or July, could also be July, and then they finally came in last month, all 5 books. I'm reading 1, so that's why you're missing 1. And when it came in, I immediately started reading. It's a gorgeous I love these copies. They're absolutely gorgeous. It was a good book. I've watched the Percy Jackson show before actually reading them. And there were a lot of differences from the book and the show, which really surprised me because I thought they would be the same, but they weren't. There were a lot of differences. But it was a good book. Do recommend, especially if you're into Greek mythology. because I am, and there are a lot of things that I do like see as like, yeah, that is true and stuff. The fourth book I read was book 2 from the Percy Jackson The Olympian series, which is The Sea of Monsters, and it's a really short book. I finished it in like a day. It was a good book. I liked the book. I liked the book. It was good. I don't remember a lot from it, but it was good. It was a good book. I do still recommend these books to, yeah. Again, there was Greek mythology in it, which really hooks me, as you can see. So yeah, it was a good experience. I recommend these books. And then the last book I read, which I did want to read this fall, so that I've already succeeded. It was a fine book. I don't think I'm gonna read another book from this author because she has written a few more. I just don't think I'm interested in these kinds of this author. The story was good. It's basically about a girl, a 16-year-old girl, Ivy, who is a witch, and she needs a date for a party, and she turns a lizard into a frog, I think, into her date, and she can't turn the frog back. The human frog gets lost. And basically they work on find her group of friends. I mean, they work on finding the frog, and then turns out there is a lot more going on than just a human frog. Yeah, it was fine. I was thinking of DNFing it at the start though, because it just didn't interest me. But it was fine. It was fine. I rated it like 3 stars. 3 or 4, I don't remember. But yeah, Book of Lost Souls. Now I have 18 more books on my shelves that I am reading. 4 of those being books I am reading. 2 of those being for my exams. They're right here. That one and that one. And then the Iliad, which I want to buy a different copy of. The Harry Potter books. Secret of Haven Point. 2 Percy Jackson books. And Once Upon a Broken Heart. But I don't have the Caraval trilogy, so I can't read Once Upon a Broken Heart yet. So, yeah. I am planning on buying a few more books. So, if you see new books, or maybe a book haul in this month, in October, you might get a little book haul this month. And, TBR is definitely going up this month.